Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to another live, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. So in this live stream, I'll be addressing a big question that I got on my last video regarding the negative health effects of moving back to the United States. That was actually something that I wanted to bring up in that video, but I kind of thought it would be better for this chat, which is also going to be kind of an open Q&A, any questions that you may have. And just as a reminder, I have the settings set so that only subscribers can comment in the chat. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can ask your questions. And what else was I going to mention? Oh, yes, crazy experiences that happened since coming back to Mexico. So let's get started. And first, though, I did notice a big old super chat. Thank you so much, MaddieGold Alien, for the very generous super chat. I will be getting to the comments that I see here, like gong that bell, after I dive into this. So the big question that I got so much on the last video that I posted is about my health. Moving back to the US, I've mentioned many times in the past, basically that the food in the US was causing me major harm and a huge detriment to my health. And basically, there's two ways that this could go, and two thoughts that I kind of have about this. One is, when I left the US, I was dealing with severe heavy metal poisoning, specifically mercury poisoning. And over the about 6 years that I've been in Mexico, I have almost completely detoxed that from my body, which is why I don't have the food allergies or food sensitivities that I did when I left. Yes, I still have some of them, the gluten, onion, sesame, and peas, but that's minimal compared to the like 95,000 allergies that I had when I left the bell. I looked at this comment again. When I left the US in the first place. So when I go back on my trips, I'm not as affected by the food as I used to be, which is amazing. And the other way that this could go is, yes, I could be negatively affected by the food long term. I haven't been back in the US longer than about a 2-week period at a time. So at this point, it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen. I do feel like I'm in a much better position, like my entire body is in a much better position to adapt to the food there, but only time will tell. So let me dive into some comments here. I'm gonna scroll back to make sure I don't miss a whole bunch. Yes, and let me know where you guys are checking in from. I see Lori from Canada, World of Vargas from Yuma, Serena from Calgary, Alberta. Good morning. Where are you checking in from? It's evening where I am. Nice to see you, Sherry. Thanks for joining the stream. And thank you, Toon, for the compliment. Hello, Erin from Merida. How is the humidity there? How's the heat and humidity? A friend of mine, Yvette, was just saying that in the Riviera Maya, it's actually cooling down a little bit, like noticing some hint of coolness in the mornings and evenings. So, and hello, Joe from Michigan. Jason and Elsa from Waikiki. Awesome, you guys. Okay, so question here. Do I eat fresher food in Mexico compared to processed American food? I really don't eat a whole lot of processed food in either place. My guilty pleasure here in Mexico, they're called fritos. They're like Fritos, but like Mexican flavors usually, like lime and salt, and chili and lime. And then in the US, especially since I still don't eat gluten, I don't actually have a whole lot of processed foods there. I would say probably yes, I do eat fresher in Mexico, just because even at restaurants, when we're talking about like salsas and the plates and stuff, almost everything is made fresh to order. Like even when it comes to salsas and stuff, it's made in the moment or that morning, whereas a lot of things in the US is like from a can or a jar or something like that. Not to say every single restaurant, but it's certainly fresher here. Yay, George, you made it. Man, question of my life. Where did I get the mercury poisoning? I don't know. I have some suspicions based on the timeline. I don't know if you guys know this, or I probably mentioned it before, but you can see my eyes, they're green. They used to be blue, like almost my entire life until I was about 13. I think at almost 13, they were starting to change colors, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I have mood eyes, because I noticed every time I was like in a lower mood, they were green, and anytime I was in a happier mood, they were blue or like grayish. And turns out that was, I think, the mercury like setting into my brain and my tissues and everything else, because that's really the only thing I've found that will change your eye color mid-life. So, but I don't really know. It's impossible to know a test other than just looking at the timeline and trying to think of what happened then. Something I don't really want to get into, because it can kind of be a polarizing answer. And people read into what I say in it's more than what I'm actually saying. Oh no, Juan says, each time I come back from Mexico, anything I eat in the US shuts my body down. That's a concern that I have, but another consideration for me is just that I've been in such fight or flight stress mode here in Mexico, trying to make my life work and just trying every possible thing. And that's not good for your health either. Like, perpetual stress wreaks havoc on your body. So I'm hoping that going back and being around my old friends and my family, having that support system and just having a simpler life in a culture that I'm super familiar with, and like, you know, it's my native language, things like that, that hopefully that as well won't cause as much detriment. So Jess asked, why don't I just stay in Mexico? So that is addressed in full in my last video. So if you haven't yet, please go watch that. And that will answer, I think, all of your questions. If you have a more specific question, then I'll answer that. Hey, Jeremy says, hope to meet you when you move back to Arizona. You know, there's so many people, it's crazy. I guess people relate to me being from Arizona, and so there's a lot of people that comment all the time saying they're from various places in Arizona. Maybe I'll do a meetup there sometime. I keep saying that, like, maybe I'm going to do a meetup, but there's so many logistics to it, and I would want, like, I don't know, a bodyguard or something, like security just in case. You just never know. Hola, Henry, ¿cómo estás tú? Estoy súper bien. Sunday Funday, whoop whoop. Annabelle asked, am I still in Mexico? And hello from Chicago. I am currently back in my apartment. I just had a trip back to the US. So I also said I was going to share a crazy experience that happened since coming back. I want to get some of these comments first, and then I'll get to that. Taxes didn't actually, okay, sorry, I'm going to read this. Other than wanting to be near family, taxes, the car, what else? Why else do you want to leave Mexico? So taxes didn't have anything to do with it. There just happened to be a huge tax nightmare that I recently dealt with. But that's, like, I would have had that whether I was in Mexico or the US. But why else? I feel like, I mean, like I said, I went into this in detail in the video that I recently posted, but basically everything has felt so hard for 2 years. Like, every little facet of life, from ordering products and dealing with customer service to just little things like getting bad haircuts repeatedly, and dating has been kind of a nightmare. Which, again, I keep saying I'm going to post a dating video. That's coming up. Like, in the next couple weeks, I'm posting basically the kind of culture shocks that I've had with dating and differences between dating in the US and Mexico. But again, watch that last video because it will have more reasons that I mentioned. Checking in from Area 51. Oh, we've got Mark in California, RJ in India. That's awesome. Norm Swan in sunny Florida. Juan from Ascension Island. Where's that? Ernesto in Ciudad de Mexico. Another Khalid in Florida. Awesome, you guys. Man, we're like look at this. Louisiana, Seabrook, Texas, Mexico, Ajijic. All over the place. That's super cool. Missouri, man. You guys, this is awesome. Yucatan, Honolulu. I'm loving it. Okay, I'm going to try to catch up here. A little more comments. Getting down here with the comments. Doris says, I'm allergic to wheat, but not einkorn. I don't know what that is. I now bake my own einkorn bread and I don't get sick. I'll have to look up what that is. I've never heard of that, I don't think. Alan in the Valley of the Sun, and it's kind of cool enough. When I was there, it was like coolish, Okay, I can't even say cool. In the mornings, it was somewhat cool, and then it heated up. I was like, oh boy, what am I getting myself into? Moving back, I don't miss the summers there at all. At all. So Beth says, from San Jose, California, I've had same health issue. You guys, I can't read today. What is my problem? Or my mouth can't verbalize. If you just eat whole foods, you'll be okay. Lots of fruits and veggies. Yeah, that's the plan, and as organic as much as possible. Even like locally sourced if I can possibly find, farmers market type stuff, or grow my own food. Oh my gosh, when I get my own place, I'm planting a garden and gonna try so hard to keep that thing alive. My mom does such a great job with her garden despite the like blistering hot summers. She grows lots of stuff. That is something interesting though, because when I was in the US before, I was eating all organic, all fresh, all whole foods, and basically cooking every single meal myself, never going out to eat, nothing processed, no sugar really, things like that, and trying to avoid other things like artificial sweeteners and colors and all those type of things. But because of the mercury poisoning, that was just like wrecking my body. So even with all of those best efforts, I was still having issues. So hopefully that's not the problem anymore, or that won't be the problem. Henry, so happy to hear this, says, love the show, learned a lot, moving to Panama. I'm smart about finding deals. Yay, I try. I was raised to be very budget conscious and frugal, so it served me well in life. Oh no, Francisco says, I was just in Fort Lauderdale, tried to enjoy some old faves. My body definitely reacted. Thought maybe I just overdid it, but hearing you speak about this makes sense. Yeah, and I think something about the food in the US is it can highlight other health issues, because like I said, even when I first came to Mexico, I still had the sensitivities to food that, even as natural as the food was in Mexico, I was still having reactions until I detoxed the mercury. So it's almost like, could be other things too, parasites, different heavy metals, and I don't know, just there's a lot of underlying things that could be going on as well. Ooh, yes, Birdman says, hello from Alberta, Canada. Do some videos from Arizona while I'm there. And all the best to my daddy on the patio. Yes, I plan to do that. I've heard, you guys had the best ideas in the comments of my latest video. Not only ideas though, the overwhelming support. You have no idea what a relief that was, because when I was posting that video, I did not know what the reaction was going to be. Like, I've built this audience. I thought I was building this audience around Mexico, and you all came in and just said the most lovely, uplifting, encouraging, amazing things about essentially that you're not watching this channel for Mexico, really. You're watching it for me and my personality and, I don't know, my jokes. So that was just like, I can't thank you all enough, and send so much love for the love that you were giving me in the comments. And a lot of the ideas though were surrounding Arizona, like highlighting the Latino community, or like the Mexican, Hispanic community there. Going to Sedona. Oh, I really want to go to Sedona. I used to love going there to the energy vortexes and going on hikes and things. So yes, I'll be making videos in AZ faux show. Oh, here, we have the answer. My dad says he used to give me mercury baths when I was a baby. He had no idea back then. Wow, Dad. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. And that was a decade mistake of health issues. If there's ever any question where I get my sense of humor, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting question. Do I feel weak or strong day to day? Strong? Normal? I feel like the healthiest that I've ever been in my life. Truly. Like, I have done a lot of work on my health, talking about mercury poisoning. I get yearly, sometimes bi-yearly blood testing, and I get my hair tested to see what heavy metals are going on there. And yeah, so then my vitamin protocol, my vitamins and supplements that I take are tweaked to whatever my body needs, or whatever adjustments need to be made. So I do feel like I'm the healthiest that I've been. And there's also cutting out toxic things from my life, let's say, not just within my body, but, you know, around me as well. Like relationships, friendships, that kind of thing. Victor asks, what am I going to do about my new car? So I'm not sure if you've already seen the live stream that I did about like my whole nightmare in Mexico related to getting a car. If you haven't, please go watch that, because I explained that whole situation. What am I going to do about a car beyond that? Get one in the US, and I already have something cooking for that. I'm really excited. It might involve a road trip across the US. We will have to see. But suffice it to say, I'm going to get my wheels within the next 2 months or less, and I was like jumping out of my skin with excitement. After not having a car for 2 years, you don't even understand the level of excitement that I have. Serena asked, how's my dad doing? So in case you guys didn't hear the update in my recent video, he is going to need heart surgery very soon. It has progressed to the point that it's a get it done sooner rather than later. Can't really wait on this anymore, but he's in the chat right now. So Daddy on the patio, how are you doing right now? What car will I get when I get back? RAV4. RAV4, I've wanted the RAV4. I did so much research and decided on that one, and my dad was trying to convince me to get a Tesla. And I'm like, I don't know, I've waited so long for this, I can't not get it at this point. Maybe a Tesla will be my next car. Yes, Christy, also from Arizona. Arizona rules. Go Phoenix. Oh yes, thank you, Monster Pig. Hit that like button. And we have 710 people watching now. That's amazing. Nice to see you, Jason. I missed you all. I really did miss posting videos, and I feel like such a renewed sense of energy and motivation to post more. If in case you didn't get my email newsletter, highly recommend subscribing to that, by the way. Put that in. Actually, it's at the top of the description. So if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, please do that. And I share like updates in between videos. In there, I said I have a very lofty goal for the rest of the year to be posting 1 video per week, either a video or a live stream. So most likely I'll do like 2 and 2 per month, but it just kind of depends, because I have an even bigger goal, and it's not like hit 100,000 subscribers, although I'm so close and I'd love to hit 100K. Just like, I don't know, because it's so close. It's such a cool milestone to hit, but more on that soon. There's just great things cooking, you guys, and everything seems to be falling into place. I swear, once I embraced the idea of going back to the US, everything has been falling into place like nothing has for 2 years. It's unbelievable. Is the mercury poisoning my biggest problem, or were other things you mentioned equally distressing? Yeah, I mean, for about 6 years, that was definitely, well, in terms of health issues, were other things equally distressing? Yes, certain other things were equally distressing. Or people. Okay, I think I'm like ridiculously behind on these comments. Sorry. Yay, I'm so glad to hear this. I'm really excited to do videos in the US. I really haven't. I mean, in the history of ever, in the history of me being on YouTube for like 6 years, I think I've made, well, excluding Vegas videos, maybe like 3 that were about Arizona / where else did I make videos in the US? I feel like there were others. I don't know. Yes, dating in Mexico, this is coming. Also, I'm sorry this keeps like shaking. I once again have a very sketchy little stand. It's my pony beats this time, because silly me threw away the little box that I would put my laptop up on, and I don't have anything else. I haven't found anything else to put it up on. Like, I don't have a tripod for my laptop, so. Someone put a hex on me. It seems like that could have been it. I really just think it was because I was resisting the idea of going back to the US, and that just seems to be the path that I should have taken a while ago. Good question. Lydia asked if it was from any dental work. That I know of, I've never had any dental fillings, unless it was in a baby tooth, but I don't think I ever did. And my teeth are really great. I actually don't get cavities, like, ever. Oh, Ellen is like, will I forget my Spanish if I'm not constantly using it? Luckily, some of my family members speak Spanish, lots of my friends speak Spanish, and tons of people in Arizona speak Spanish. So I'm gonna do my best to continue like watching shows, listening to music in Spanish, and practicing, because it's taken me this freaking long to get to the level of fluency that I have, and I don't want to lose it. Am I gonna be looking for a Mexican gentleman when I go back to AZ? Possibly. I mean, who knows what the future holds. I might date, might not. We'll just have to see. I have way bigger priorities than dating, though, like going back. So, yeah. Thank you, Double Model Actress, for becoming a member. Just so you guys know, if you become a channel member, there is one live stream per month that is a dedicated channel member only live stream. And you get a monthly post where I share like a monthly update that you won't see, that isn't like part of my videos and stuff. So little perks you get there. Yes. Michelle asks, will I get a dog when I'm back in Arizona? I sure hope so, and soon. In the interim, until I get my own place and stuff, I will be taking all the puppy lovin's I can get from my mom and stepdad's schnoodle named Aspen, who I was just like cuddling and petting, getting all the puppy loves when I was in Phoenix. Woo, another live. I love that you guys get excited over my lives too. Yeah, and seriously, I'm so just like ecstatic to hear that it doesn't, I was so worried that people would be like, no, we only liked you for Mexico, like leave. I don't know, but it's cool to hear that you're interested in seeing videos from other places. A lot of people also suggested, with me releasing my DNA test results, that I could go to the places that I'm from. So my biggest heritage being German, French, and Dutch, and then Scandinavian still shocks me. I don't know why, but it was like 20% Scandinavian. So Norway, Sweden, Denmark, I believe, are the countries there. So that would be really cool too. I mean, I actually looked up like what do Scandinavian people look like, and I was like, holy crap, I kind of do look like them. Did somebody post something about this? That some guy dating me acted a fool and disrespected me? I mean, he did, but I guess I'm just curious where this came from. Who's there? Did I miss something? What did I miss? I definitely missed something. Elbow, elbow, cough, cough. Yeah, so this, okay, it says, it's refreshing to hear your honest opinions about stressors one can experience in Mexico, and especially coming from a female. I feel like a lot of times we're shown all the pros from expat YouTubers. I'm actually thinking of doing a video just like specifically on what it's like living in Mexico as a solo female, because especially since I posted that last video, I've gotten so many comments echoing my experience, or like echoing my feelings and then elaborating on my experiences from like other women who have gone through similar things. And it's actually it's opened my eyes as well to some other things that were definitely going on that I either didn't want to admit because I want to see Mexico in a positive life and Mexico holds a very special place in my heart, or that I just was kind of blind to. Like, you just have blinders onto some things. So let me know if that's a video you guys would be interested in. It would trigger a lot of people, I can say that for sure, because I am a foreigner and like I'm a guest in this country, so there's that. But I think it's valuable information for people to know and to consider, especially women who are wanting to come live in Mexico as well. And I'm not saying Mexico is a bad place and don't come here and don't live here, but I'm of the opinion that it's good to have like all the information, and then you can make your own decision instead of like this person saying insane in the membrane is saying like sometimes people only talk about the pros and then you come and it's like, holy crap, what is all this that nobody told me about? So I never want that to be the case for my channel. Fiona, thank you for the very generous super chat. I appreciate that. And you guys, so many, thank you for the compliments. Yes, Alex says stress and cortisol can wreck your body stability as well. Maybe living in Mexico tune down the stress? Yes and no. Yes, in some ways, like the slower, laid back pace of life, but then no in others, because as a solo female, again, I feel like I need to make a video about this because it's kind of a complicated, complex topic. Oh, this would be a great, I would have to think about this. What won't I miss? Ooh, yeah, that could be a whole video. Well, think of a couple things. Noise. Mexico is not known for being a very quiet place. Safety concerns has been huge for me since living on my own. So, I don't feel that in the same way in the US. So those are two things. How do I detox the mercury? So I've been on a specially formulated vitamin and supplement protocol in addition to taking lifestyle and food and diet changes. So it's where my blood is tested and hair is tested, and then I take vitamins specifically for what my body is lacking or too high in. Like certain levels of things can be too high and that can cause issues as well. But activated charcoal, no, that doesn't do it. I think that's more so for if you have food poisoning kind of thing. Jenny asked, will I date in the US? It sounds like my long-term goal is to come back to Mexico. Once I decided on moving to Mexico, I stopped dating in the US. Yeah, probably well, yes and no, because I have so many other priorities right now that's not dating. So it's like if I meet someone and decide it seems worth pursuing, then sure, I'll date, but I don't really think I'm gonna get on the dating apps. Ugh, I'm so dating apps are the living worst. Yeah, that's super true. The US allows Monsanto to make billions poisoning the US population. Yes, yeah, Monsanto is Satan. Satan incarnate, the devil incarnate. Thank you so much, Jamie. That's really sweet. Oh, thank you. Mexico, yes. Personality a plus. Salt River. Yeah, I've done the Salt River before. Super fun. That's actually how... So I got pushed off my tube by a friend. It was an accident, but I went backwards and I wasn't expecting it, so I swallowed water, which is just so disgusting on so many levels if you know anything about the Salt River, and I'm not even gonna get into that. But anyway, it caused my tonsils to basically explode and I had to get them removed. I mean, they got so big and they just kept making me sick, and to the point where I couldn't even sleep because I'd wake up if my throat was angled a certain way, I'd be like, so I had to get them removed. And I can say tonsillectomy is the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. Horrible, absolutely horrible. So I should probably go back and have a better experience. Well, not that wasn't fun, but the aftermath, it kind of scared me away from going back. Ooh, I love this. Christy says differences in Spanish in Mexico versus southern Arizona would be cool. Yeah, because especially in Sonora, and I think even Sinaloa too, they're known for having, or maybe is it just Sonora? I'm not sure. It's known for having a very strong accent. And then of course I think Mexicans who are born in the U.S., I think they're called Chicanos, so they learn more English, Spanish fusion. It sounds a little different, so I'll have to see if I can detect that. Dragon, thank you so much for the super chat. This says HNL. Is that the currency? What currency is that? Thank you so much, though. Ooh. John says, continue my channel. Tucson has great, authentic Mexican cuisine. Yeah, so if it wasn't clear before, I'm not done with YouTube. I'm not done with MaddieGold. And I'm definitely not done eating Mexican food. Gerardo says, in the United States, you grow up with the culture of differentiating races, not in Mexico. Do you feel that difference when living in Mexico? Yes. I mean, Mexicans are even, within Mexico, are pretty classist or racist within their own race. It's it's well known that like white or light skinned Mexicans are treated better than the darker skinned Mexicans. And I feel like, I don't know, there is like, I do notice other cultures, other people coming in, and there's kind of a dynamic there. So I don't know how to answer that though, or if that was answers your question. Ooh, okay, I'll take tips about Mexicali. I definitely want to go to the Baja Peninsula. Like, how I haven't been there yet, it's 6 years in Mexico, is ridiculous. It's just evaded me. Margarito says, hola, te conocí una vez en Guadalajara, así como 6 años, saludos. So we met about 6 years ago in Guadalajara. And hola, ha sido mucho tiempo, wow. Henry, thank you for the generous super chat. Do I think I will be having, sorry, I keep like hitting the table or my laptop is like, earthquake. Do you think I will be having weekly or bi-weekly live streams when I'm back in Arizona? Also hope to see fun vlogs when you're in Arizona, or how you see Mexican food in the US, etc. Yes, so my goal throughout at least to the end of the year, if I can possibly make it happen with the 50 shades of chaos that's going on in my life right now, I would like to do 1 video a week, whether that is a live stream or an edited video. So I'm gonna really try to keep that going. I'll have to see what the internet speeds are at my parents' house, because that's where I'm gonna be landing at first. Or maybe, I mean, there's tons of like co-working spaces and stuff where the internet's really fast and you can get like a little private room type of thing. Maybe I can do that. Otherwise, oh my gosh, I had one call when I was in Phoenix and Aspen went bananas. She just was so like barking aloud and we couldn't get her to stop. It was like, holy crap, everybody would fall off the live stream immediately. Debbie says, something I would like to see is maybe a video on visiting Rocky Point in Phoenix. Seems like everyone here goes all the time, but I feel a little intimidated planning a trip. Yeah, so as I mentioned in my last video, I definitely want to continue traveling to Mexico, especially where I can drive, because I think so from Hermosillo to Phoenix, for instance, is 6 hours. So there's a lot, the Baja Peninsula goes much farther south than that, but there's so much that's within like relatively easy driving distance, so absolutely. Mario, saludos desde Hermosillo. Hermosillo, ha, I was just saying that. What is this comment? I don't understand. Okay. What is this about? I got my deposit back? About the car. I was like, well, yeah, that I got back. There's another deposit that I have not gotten back. I wish I could say something about it, but I'm not going to. Did I meet potential boyfriend material in Mexico? Yeah, I've had a couple boyfriends in the past couple of years, and I've dated a whole bunch. So yes, but no, ultimately it hasn't worked out with anybody for various reasons. And a lot of times, guys don't get past the first date because I just am like, it's not a fit. So keep on keeping on. Yeah, so maybe I can do this. I've never actually shared my results of like blood testing and hair testing, but that should be coming back very soon. I have now, because when you get the hair test, it's from the back bottom of your hair. They have to cut right down to the scalp, so I have bald patches back there. You can't really see, and I honestly don't even think if I put my hair up in a half ponytail or whatever, I don't think you'd be able to see it, but I could feel it, little buzz patches. But yeah, maybe I can do that and see where I'm at. Would you guys find that interesting? Or want to see that? Yeah, dude, it's so hot in Phoenix. The cacti are dying. My mom showed me a cactus that blew up. It was so hot, it just exploded. I didn't even know that could happen. What is all this about shoplifting? Somebody must have posted a comment about that, and now there's a bunch about... I mean, it is crazy in the U.S. That, in California, you can shop... I think it's California. You can shoplift up to, $800 or something and not get arrested. It's wow. One asks, have I cut down on eating seafood? And if so, has that improved my health? I stopped eating seafood a couple of years ago and it's been great. So honestly, before getting mercury poisoning, I didn't really eat seafood all that much. Like, I'm more of like a chicken gal, like white meat, and I occasionally get sushi here. I'll occasionally eat like ceviche or something, but it's not really like a go-to thing for me. So yeah, I don't really eat it, especially because it's the potential to have mercury. So yes, I absolutely would consider traveling other places besides Mexico. Oh, you guys, wow. I don't highlight comments like this one or this one because I think it just seems like, I don't know. I appreciate the compliments, but I don't want to like focus on that. But yeah, so thank you. And I changed both my skincare regimen and my shampoo and conditioner. So I've gotten so many comments on that lately. If you go to my Amazon, I'll put that in the chat here, like the storefront, you can see, actually, let me do this and put it over here. You can see the products that I use, if you would like. Sorry, I am so behind, but my dad says he's feeling much better. A line from Monty Python movie where it's like, it's just a flesh wound. He's coming up on the surgery though. So any prayers or good vibes in the universe is appreciated. Some comments. I'm like, oh boy. No Tesla. Why no Tesla? And Francisco says, on point, Tesla. So, 'tis but a scratch. Lopinson, thank you for the super chat. It's so hot in Phoenix, the cacti are dying. Yeah, man, this last summer was brutal from everything I've heard. I'll just have to see what it's gonna be like doing that again, living in those summers again. One thing that's pretty interesting, when I went back, I was just freezing everywhere, like everybody's air conditioning in the car, in stores, in the airports, in the airplanes, everywhere, because in this part of Mexico, specifically like in central Mexico, AC is not common at all. Even when it's hot, even in the summer, just people don't have AC. I don't have AC in my house. So when it gets hot, you just deal with it. So going back where everything is like, everywhere is blasting cold AC, I was just freezing my little tushy off. Those cacti could have used some of that AC though. Poor things. Pobrecitos. Have I heard of chlorophyll for helping with removing of heavy metals? Yeah, I actually take one thing called Chlorella Clean that I believe, or maybe it doesn't have chlorophyll. It has spirulina, and no, I think it has chlorophyll. What does it have? Hold on, I think I have it here. Ha! Chlorella Plus. It has chlorella, yeah, and spirulina. So, so no chlorophyll. But yeah, this is one of the vitamins that I've been taking forever. Not a doctor, not telling you to take anything, just showing you what I take. Aw, thank you so much, George. That's really sweet. Teslas are awful for long road trips. Yeah, it's easier in the US. It would be absolutely, oh my gosh, sorry, I have like a hair stuck in my mouth. Almost impossible in Mexico because there just aren't that many charging stations yet, but a little bit more possible in the US. I don't know, that just wasn't the direction I was going. It's not what I foresee in my traveling, road tripping future, so. Oh my gosh. I should buy a gold car because of the name of my channel. See, I'm conflicted on this because MaddieGold is about it's a play on words for marigold, and marigolds are actually more like orange or reddish or maroon, kind of gold. But maybe I can do some like decals, some like tasteful decals of marigolds or something on my car. But at the same time, I don't really want it to be that identifiable because of safety I don't know. We'll see. Dr. Roxy Strand in Scottsdale is best naturopathic practitioner. I should see her, and she can help with heavy metal. So I don't think I really am dealing with heavy metal issues anymore. And the doctor that I see, Dr. Stephen Hill in Tempe, he is a holistic practitioner. So very similar. I mean, he takes a lot of naturopathic approach. I remember at first when he was like, okay, here's what we're dealing with. You're going to take these vitamins. You're going to do these things. I was like, how on earth are vitamins going to possibly help any of this? Because I had so many symptoms. My health was just in the toilet. I was like, there's no way I'm going to take a bunch of vitamins and it's going to fix me. But stuck to the plan, kept at it, and it indeed did. So yes, Rita. So I will definitely be doing some videos in Sedona, especially like the energy vortexes. I also, if I'd had the foresight to do this, I should have recorded little clips at any place in Mexico that I felt like was an energy vortex, like Bernal, definitely, Lago de Catemaco in Veracruz, Ajijic, I think, has energy vortexes. Where else? There's more. I think where a lot of pyramids are, like Chichen Itza and like, in the Riviera Maya area. Yeah, it would have been really cool to do that type of a video just to, I don't know, give people the option to go see these things, because I haven't seen anything on energy vortexes, and maybe that's a little woo-woo for some people, but I feel energy, like, I think I'm extra sensory, so I just feel that type of thing, and it's also very restorative being in those areas. Like when I was dealing with my health issues, I'd go to Sedona, and all of a sudden I could eat a meal, and like it would perfectly digest in my body, like magic. And then I go back to Phoenix, and then right back to my health issues. So, yeah. When am I coming to Puebla, New York City? There's a Puebla, New York City? Or am I reading that wrong? Oh my goodness. Así se vive Japón. Saludos desde Japón from Japan. That's super cool. Loved you since your orange car. Tangerine car. Can't wait to see me driving again. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Me too. I cannot wait to be driving again. You have no idea. My dad says, Stormtrooper says, I look forward to getting the aortic valve replaced and back to hiking with me. Last year, I hiked an 85-story mountain in Phoenix about 275 to 300 times. Yeah, it's true. My dad is more active than I even am. And I miss hiking too. I miss hiking so much. That used to be one of my favorite things in Arizona. So maybe I'll do like a whole vlog of like hikes, my favorite hikes in Arizona. All right, I'm gonna have to scroll a bit. Jose asks, ¿Qué tan difícil fue aprender español? For those who don't speak Spanish, that's how difficult was it to learn Spanish? It actually got so much easier when I was out of a relationship where I was speaking English all the time, and that's not saying anything negative about the person that I was with. It's just that I was speaking English all the time. Even like, with my channel, I'm speaking English right now. But you just have to embrace, I feel like the one thing that I could have done differently and better is just embrace the fact that I'm going to sound like an idiot, embrace the fact that I'm not going to be able to say things specifically exactly how I want to, and probably dedicate a little more time than I did, but, so, yeah. Can I make a video only speaking Spanish? I actually have a video that I did like a year ago, only speaking Spanish in Mexico City. And maybe I can do another one, because I think like my Spanish is so much better even now than it was then. Yes, so true. Family comes first, and my dad needs me. It does. Family is like my #1 priority. Yes. I absolutely am going to rescue. I forget who I was talking to about this recently. They were like, what breed of dog do you want the most? And I was like, I don't know, whichever one picks me. Like, go to a rescue, and I feel like I'll just know, or the dog's gonna know that, like, I don't know, that we're meant to be together. That sounds really cheesy, but yeah, I always said, if I were to ever have kids, I would adopt. the same goes for animals. I don't need, like, you know, one from a breeder or something for a specific breed. Sorry, I'm like super behind on comments, but I think we have a lot more people in the chat this time. So thank you guys all for joining. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that and hit the thumbs up while you're at it. Oh yeah, and gong that bell. Yeah, so Kathy says, hi, I'm up in Cave Creek and we have a lot of Mexican culture. Maybe you can go into towns and see what Mexican traditions that they're using. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure, especially now that I've spent so much time in Mexico, I'm going to go back and be like, wow, there's Mexico everywhere. And not even just Mexico, but other Latin American countries, for sure. Oh my gosh, I would love to come back to Veracruz, but it's going to be like craziness now until the time that I leave. And I don't know. So this place is furnished, but I did buy some furniture, for instance, like a TV stand, a TV, a couch, this couch, some nightstands. So I got to like figure out selling that, and I'll be flying back too, so I can only take what fits in a couple of suitcases. So that's going to take up a lot of my time, plus my goal of releasing a video like every week through the end of the year, including the time that I'm getting ready to leave. Well, both. I'm gonna be living with my mom and stepdad just as like a place to land at first, but I will be looking for my own place like once I'm there. Because on this last trip, I was doing some house hunting. Super excited to share about that. I made a whole video about it and everything, but it's just gonna be so much easier to figure that out when I'm there. Because trying to just look at pictures and stuff, like I'm not gonna take a place blind or anything. So, yeah. JLZ, thank you so much for the super chat. My dad says, by the way, thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love, prayers, and well wishes in the comments of Maddie's last video. Yeah, you guys are just so loving, so amazing. I feel like I've said it once and I'll say it again. I have the best community on the internet, like so supportive and loving and amazing. And I just keep saying the same thing, but I mean it. Thank you guys. It's like these comments are so not necessary. I've said this a bunch before. Just because it didn't work out with somebody and I've been having issues, that doesn't mean that it's related to that person. But I understand that that fits a narrative that makes you feel better because it matches with your worldview. But that's not what's going on here. I was over that breakup at least a year ago. And longer in some senses, so it has nothing to do with that guy. Thanks. Craig asked, I said Guadalajara was the place I felt the most unsafe. What about going as a tourist for an older couple? I don't have that like perspective, but yeah, I think being with anybody else, like you're gonna be safer. And there's so much I love about that city too. It just sucks that like the dynamic there, the safety dynamic has changed so much in the years since the pandemic. Maybe it'll change. Mexican in Phoenix in the house. Hi, Lola. Okay, so Insane in the Membrane says, yes, please do a video on the valuable things to know when living in Mexico, especially for women. We need this because barely anyone is making videos about this. Yeah, I certainly haven't seen any, especially, I mean, there's solo female travelers that come here, but not live. I mean, I could be wrong. Feel free to drop, if there's other like YouTubers or whatever that are solo females like living in Mexico, but I don't think I know of any. A lot of times it's couples or just women passing through kind of thing. Hold on a quick second, please, because... Oh, okay. Thank you. Actually, I thought this was a troll comment, but you're actually telling somebody else off, so thank you for that. Lydia says, well, watch me boil potatoes. So somebody had left a comment on the last video saying, you could boil potatoes and we'll still watch. And I was like, you know, that would be kind of a funny series if I was like, even if they were a little bit shorter videos, but surrounding some idea like this that I like doing crazy things my subscribers suggest, boiling potatoes edition. And my mom was like, you know, you could braid rubber bands and I think people would watch it. And I've had a couple other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I thought that would just be kind of funny to see truly, do you mean it? Will you actually watch, or is that just a funny thing to say? Oh, Doris, what is your theory? I want to know your theory. My dad says, according to one troll in the comment section of my last video, heart surgery is no big deal, so he stopped worrying about it. Yeah, there was this person that was like really just coming down on me about like making such a big deal about heart surgery, like it's this walk in the park thing. People are just ridiculous sometimes. Oh, Angelica says, Einkorn flour is produced from the grains of an ancient species of wheat that was domesticated in the Fertile Crescent roughly 12,000 years ago. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, we as Mexicans party a lot, so that's why it's not quite in Mexico. Well, and so parties, barking dogs, like just depending on the place, vendors or cohetes, rockets, things like that. A lot of times it's actually gotten to be such background noise to me that I don't even really think about it or notice it, but certain things, and like when I'm trying to sleep or, you know, the wee hours of the morning when stuff is going on, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, super true. There's good and bad about everywhere that one travels. Stephanie says, I would not feel safe coming from another country to the United States, traveling by myself. Yeah. Laura asked if I tried sauna therapy or infrared. No. I've done saunas before, and I've done infrared, like is that the same as red light therapy? Because I've done that, but not regularly, as part of my, like, detox protocol. So something I could look into more. Lezama, am I planning on moving back to the US? We'll definitely gong my videos because they were the ones that helped me feel close to my heritage. Yeah, so go watch my last video that I released and explains the whole thing. Stop fighting in the chat, please. Yes. This is part of it. What I was talking about earlier, kind of the reality of living as a female, especially a solo female with no Mexican family, is that Mexico is a male-dominated patriarchal society that sees women differently. I think even more so super independent women too, because of the machismo culture. Yeah. Single person could live comfortably in Mexico on probably, I don't know, I guess it depends on your idea of, or your definition of comfortably, but you could get by on $1,000 if you wanted to have a little bit more of a buffer, maybe like $1,200, if you're not traveling a bunch like I do. Jose asks, ¿prefieres los tacos o las tortas? Bueno, no puedo comer nada de harina de trigo, entonces no he probado en mi vida una torta. Desafortunadamente, tengo muchas ganas de probarlo, pero no. Entonces, tacos. So, do I like tacos or tortas better? Tacos, because I can't have wheat flour. And I've never been able to try one, sadly. Oh, great question. What specific products that I could not find in Mexico will I now purchase and use on a regular basis? I'd have to think about this, but I mean, like vitamins, my vitamins, I have to get those in the US, so it'll be so much easier to get those now when I need them. I always go back and go to certain restaurants for like gluten-free stuff or just restaurants that I really like, so Chipotle is one of those, even though it's like, you know, different style Mexican, and I like Thai food. I haven't really found that much good Thai food throughout Mexico. Like some cities has it, and others no. But products, I have to think about that more. And maybe I'll do like, I imagine I'm gonna get a lot of reverse culture shock when I'm like truly living there again. So yeah. Yeah, see, 3 o'clock in the morning, you got the cohetes going off. It's hard to sleep through that stuff. At least if you're like me, I'm a really light sleeper. Thank you. Joe says, I love when you tell the history of a place. And I'm a natural on YouTube. Yeah, I try every place that I go, I try to give as much like full picture of the place as possible, from like the food to the culture, a little bit of history, even though I'm not a super like history buff. I try to learn about every place so you can appreciate it more. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Whoop whoop. Super true. Francisco says Mexico and the US have a big disagreement about the chemical treatment of the corn commodity. US wants chemicals, Mexico doesn't. I've heard that like, and I don't know what the current situation is, so like don't quote me on this, but I've heard that the Mexican government doesn't allow GMO crops, but the like Monsanto, for instance, wants to come in and do that and like GMOify everything. That's not a word. GMOify. What is this? Millions of blonde girls moved to Puebla? Is that true? Why? Alex, I'm sorry. Alex says, it would be nice if you could read each question that you highlight and not just answer them. I'm trying to listen to your live as I'm walking to the bus stop. I would love to not take out my phone. Okay, sorry. I kind of go back and forth because it's like, sometimes it's easier, like if it's a short question, it's easier to just put it there so you guys can read it and then I'll answer. That way I can get to more things. But I was kind of wondering if people are just listening to it in the background and that you're kind of missing half of it. Pack Attack, thank you for the super chat, and hola to you too. Oh, you're like, is this the same person as before, but the blondes in Puebla? Do not drink the water in Puebla, Mexico. I would say don't drink the water anywhere in Mexico. Always do filtered. I have a filter. Well, actually, my water here is filtered, plus I put it in an eco-filtro, which is like another level of filtration, just in case. Just because I am sensitive to stuff, so. One says Mexicans say camioneta, Chicanos say trocas. Like it's like trucks, trocas. I've heard there's a lot of like Americanized Spanish like that. That's like, instead of estacionamiento, it's like el parking or something like that. I forget. No, something more specific. But yeah, pretty much like that. Trocas. Classist. Yeah, I think that was the word I was looking for earlier. Oscar, yes, I am part Mexican. My great-grandparents were born in Mexico, so technically from that, I'm 25% Mexican. According to my DNA results, I'm 8%, but that makes sense because, like, nobody, or well, I think it's extremely rare for somebody to be 100% whatever, like, their nationality is. Thank you, Savannah. She says, I really like your hair long. It fits me. I've been growing it out forever. Because I had a really bad haircut and then another really bad haircut and it's just taking forever. I like it. I prefer it kind of this length too. My dad says, I received over 1,300 positive comments on my last video. It took him 10 hours to read through them. He says, I don't know how Maddie is able to read them all. I at least try to read them all. I cannot respond to even a fraction of them, although I try to respond to as many as possible. But also when I posted this, I was in Phoenix, so I was like, any little break I had between stuff that I was doing, like seeing friends and, you know, doing necessary life stuff to prepare myself for moving back. I was just reading through comments, reading, and trying to keep up. It was amazing. Like, just such, like, wholesome, loving comments. I was blown away. Oh. Beth says, I have mercury poisoning too. It's ruined my life for a decade. I want to hear more as well. Please do a video on this. Okay. Yeah, it took I would say about a decade for me to detox. I mean, just to get to the point where it wasn't in like the dangerous range anymore. I'm sorry you've been dealing with that too. It really is like so horrible. I heard this. Carl, says, am I aware that a Tesla factory will be built in Monterrey, Mexico? I did. I heard that, which is interesting because of the water shortages there. I saw a lot of memes about that. 50 Shades of Chaos sounds interesting. That's my life. Trying to figure out, like, selling things, getting rid of things, making videos, planning everything. It's a lot. I never thought I would be doing this, like, moving back. I thought my life was just going to be here. Oh, I will happily. Okay, Nezra says, how do I grow the leaves out of the bottles behind me? I will tell you about my plants all day, every day. So I have, if I don't totally mess this up here, I have that pothos plant, also known as a teléfono in Spanish. And then I'll take a cutting off of it. So you can cut, let me see if one of these is going to be better to show. Yeah, this one, okay. So you can cut off like right above one of the nodes, and then if you see here, then a new leaf will start growing after you cut it. But with that node that you cut off, then, I don't know why I picked this one up and said it's the same thing, but you put it inside a bottle to propagate it, and then as you can see inside here, like the roots will just grow. And so it's recommended to change the water out once a month, and so for like fresh oxygen and fresh, I don't know, vitamins and stuff in there. But some people say you can't leave them in water forever. I've had some of these, like this one, this purple one, I have had that in there for, over a year. So you don't have to plant it if you don't want to. I like it in water because then I could travel and it's like caught its own water source for as long as I'm traveling. Uh-oh. I don't think I have a mode where I stop giggling. Hee hee. Oh, what archaeological sites are in Arizona like the petrified forest? Is that considered archaeological site? I liked going there. That was really cool. I did that in Girl Scouts. Lucy, thank you for the super chat. Do I miss Alaska or do I ever get to see her anymore? Yes, I miss her so much. And no, it was a year and a half ago maybe that I came back to Querétaro for a visit and I got to see her, and because of some things that went down and some communications, I just decided that it was for the best not to see her anymore, because I was at the time just really trying to reclaim my life and get to a healthy place, like put distance there of like the toxicity of that situation. So I just decided it was best not to, as sad as that is. And I hope energetically she knows that I love her so much and that I wasn't leaving her because of her. I think this accidentally skipped to a point. Okay. Do I still do gymnastics? No, not really, because I broke my elbow. That's why I originally had to quit. And it's still, I don't know if maybe you could see from this angle. Okay, see how this arm is like super bent up and this one's not? This is the one I broke because my joints are hyperextending, so then I couldn't use this one for a long time. And so now I just do like stretching all the time. So I maintain my flexibility. I can still do the splits, and that's just really healthy for your body anyway, so. Ben, thank you so much for the super chat. Don't make me watch that other channel. Do what you want, or don't do what you want. I won't make you do anything. Dude Mistress, nice to see you. And thank you for the super chat. Do and live what and where you're happy. Thank you so much, Anne. I appreciate it, and feels good to make the decision and have everything be in a flow state again. I was seriously like, I was thinking, am I going crazy? It feels like I'm banging my head up against the wall and spinning my wheels and all sorts of, spinning my non-existent wheels, as you guys probably know that I didn't get a car. Yeah, it was miserable. What happened to my hair? Bad haircut? It was a bad haircut. I don't know if that's what that's referring to. Or my hair now. I don't know. Welcome to the live. I know I'm super behind on comments, but am I leaving Mexico? Go check out my last video, and I explain everything. Ooh, Alexandra says, I have a new RAV4 and love it in sunny AZ. Yay, I'm just, oh my gosh, I can like practically feel it. I want to be able to drive again so bad. Okay, I'm going to scroll because I'm so behind. Oh, no, I'm going to do this one. Güero says, Stormtrooper, my dad had heart surgery at 80 and he's like new now. That is what's going to happen with my dad, too. That's the only reality I see ahead, and so that's, like, the only one I'm acknowledging as the future. Yay, positive thoughts for Dad. Thank you, Rue. Thank you, Federico. I think, so my hair is naturally curly. It's always more curly on the bottom. I don't know, wait, in the light. Like these, I always have this one little, where is it? Right here? This, like, super, ugh, you can't see it because my hair's all in it itself, but it's always curlier, but I switched to a shampoo and conditioner that I think makes it, like, enhances them, which I love, because then I'm not really a do my hair type of girl. I don't, like, blow it out or straighten it that often or do anything to it. I like that it kind of does this, and it looks like I put a whole lot more effort in it than I did. Shh. Yeah, okay, so Sunmoon says, since I'm fluent in Spanish, a month-long journey to Spain would be interesting. It would be interesting because Spain Spanish is so much different than Mexico Spanish. And so I actually did a test because I was curious where my level was, and this was, I don't know, 6 months ago or something at this point, and it was actually a Spain Spanish placement test. Is it called a placement test? Yeah, I think so. So it had vosotros, and vosotros is the familiar ustedes. I think that's how you would explain it. And so I haven't learned that, but I did understand it enough in the test to get my level was C1. Perhaps it would even be C2 if it wasn't a Spain Spanish test. I just decided to go for it and just do it. But yeah, that would be really interesting to see like cultural differences and like how the Spanish is too. Lith says, give your dad lots of hugs because after heart surgery, it's painful to hug for several months. Big, big, long hugs now. Gentle, gentle hugs post-op. Okay, good to know. I didn't know that. I mean, makes sense. Oh, interesting question. Bourbon Bites says, where will you be most likely to vacation the most in Mexico once you're living back in the U.S.? Probably the Baja Peninsula. I'm like dying to go there. Probably poor choice of words. I'm excited to go there, but I just haven't yet, and it's close-ish and easy enough to get to from Phoenix, so yeah. Don't worry, most of Mexico is here in Arizona already. True, I want to see how like authentic of Mexican food I can find in Phoenix now that I know truly like what legit Mexican food is. Thank you, Sherry, sending excellent healing vibes for Dad. Oh, thank you, Kim. She says, I'm radiating, looks like it shows that I'm doing well, and hello from Phoenix. See, I got so many amigos in Phoenix. I love it. Rue asks, will I go to Peru? I have been to Peru. I've been to Lima and Cusco, and I would go back. The food there is awesome. Dallas asks, will I take the plants to AZ? I can't. I looked it up and I thought like I could get this certificate to take them because the rule is like they can't be in dirt. So I'm like, well, these are just water, obviously, clean roots, but no, it's like some special thing that you have to get from the government, and it's like a whole process. So I'll be giving them away to my friends and probably cry about it a little because they're my babies. I don't think so. You probably just heard me, like, I've been shuffling around in this chair, or is it that? It's probably the chair. But who cares? Farts are normal. Another person said, is that a fart? No, it's a chair, but whatever. Think what you want. No skin off my back. No skin off my teeth. What's the phrase? That's a metaphor, I think, when you do that. I was just talking to my dad today about this, that when you mix up two really well-known phrases, it's called a malaphor. So, fun word fact for the day for y'all. Oh no, I'm doing a horrible job at branding then, because yeah, MaddieGold, it's in Mexico when people they don't understand Maddie all the time, even when I spell it, so they don't because in Spanish, the word Maddie, you would read it as Maddie, because you pronounce all the vowels, all the letters. So I'd be like Maddie, like mariachi, mariposa, MaddieGold, came up with that after, so I just thought it was cute. Glad you made it, Tim. Aaron, you are so sweet. Thank you. Hearts. What did I say about heavy metal bands? That's the second person that says this. Heavy metal. Maybe that's how I got it. Mercury heavy metal bands. Seriously? No Tesla because you can't even drive from San Francisco to LA without having to stop and charge. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I've wanted the RAV4 and I've been so patient about getting it. I'm like, I can't even possibly open my mind to something else. I've just wanted that. Marco says, why do I look a little sad? Do I? I'm not sad. Estoy bien. Estoy feliz. I am happy. Oh, I could try. Alex asked, before I leave Querétaro, could I do a video on the pyramid in the Pueblito area? I could try to make that happen. Ooh, that's cool. Camera says, I knew intrinsically that I'm extrasensory. I think it's kind of like a superpower. I mean, it can be overwhelming, but yeah. What is this about? Ooh, okay, David says, thank you for sharing my experiences in Mexico. Fun channel. By the way, when you hit 100,000 subscribers, you need to break a piñata to celebrate. It would be so cool if I could get, we were talking about this in a previous live, if I could get a bell, like a piñata shaped like a bell, or maybe one shaped like a MaddieGold, a marigold. Simpatsuchu. Anybody else excited for Dia de Muertos coming up? I am. Dia de Muertos, my favorite holiday. I think I missed something about this. MG Mobile to represent MaddieGold. I do think my car is going to be white though. The RAV4. Am I decorating for Halloween this year? No. I'll be doing stuff for Dia de Muertos, and like maybe, so my mom and her friend are coming, and maybe we'll do like pumpkin carving or something, but Halloween-y stuff isn't really a thing in Mexico. I mean, it's kind of becoming more of a thing as it, I mean, because Dia de Muertos and Halloween, they just sort of mix. Oh, interesting question. Very creative. Aaron asked, if I could only stay at one Las Vegas resort the rest of my life, what would it be? Yours would be Park MGM. Park MGM? Why? I'm curious. I really love Cosmo. Wynn is super nice too. I probably have to say Cosmo though, because it's like really centrally located on the strip, and the rooms are nice, and they have balconies, and I love me a good balcony. Kim says, and I wasn't shaking my head at you, Kim, I have other comments. So many people have said that they hesitate to use the language as they didn't want to sound wrong. Yeah, that's been my thing for a long time too. I just like didn't want to sound like an idiot, and for people to think that I'm an idiot because I wasn't speaking it correctly. But I've learned that you're just not going to progress as much if you're held back by those, like that limiting attitude. So you just got to embrace the fact that you're going to sound stupid and you're going to humiliate yourself a lot. But thankfully, Mexicans especially are so patient and they're very patient and helpful and like help walk you through it. So you don't really have to worry about like in the US, you hear people be like, speak English already, which I hate, and I think it's so closed-minded and stupid, especially coming from people who only speak one language. You don't get that in Mexico, so you don't have to worry. Oh my gosh, Steve, you're so funny. Maybe the person in Japan could call Toyota and send me a RAV4, please. Send me my RAV4 already. Oh my gosh. Actually, okay, so I was talking about how maybe I'll have a road trip coming up. So I'm partnering with this company that's helping me get a car, this car, the RAV4 specifically that I want, and they found one in Florida. And I have a friend that's in Florida, and I was like, hey, do you want to go on a road trip with me? I thought that'd be really fun. Instead of paying the like $1,600 or whatever to get it shipped, I was like, I think it'd be cheaper, like crunched the numbers and gas and flights and everything, to go there and drive it back. And then I can make a video and go across like all those states. And then, but ultimately, I think it was my dad that pointed out, he was like, oh, it says here FWD. And I was like, oh no, please tell me FWD is four-wheel drive, not front-wheel drive. And it turns out it is front-wheel drive. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the point of getting this car is so that it has off-roading capabilities. I want to be able to do like snow and, you know, not that I'm a crazy off-roader or something, but in case there's muddy conditions or wet or whatever, I wanted to be able to go all the places I want to go. So I'm like, oh, but this company is still on the job and they're going to find me the perfect RAV4. I know it at the, you know, at a good price. So it's just more patience. But yeah, if Toyota could just like send me one, that would be great. I've certainly promoted Toyota enough between the Tangerine Mobile and now this RAV4. When Lith says, one time I was trying to say I was embarrassed and I said in French, I'm so sorry, I'm pregnant instead. So that's similar to Spanish, because a lot of people are like embarazada. It means that means pregnant in Spanish, and it sounds like embarrassed. So it's a what is it called? A false cognate, when it's a word that sounds like what it is but not. It's embarrassing. I said that one time. I was like, sí, no, estoy esperando, which means I'm waiting, I'm expecting. I was actually saying I was waiting for a drink like years ago, and I was like, wow, yeah, that's a bad combo if I really was expecting. Oh, I'm here for it. Like, while we're at it, please, if you can, give this live stream a thumbs up, subscribe, and gong that bell. There's some interesting comments in the chat. Some that I cannot pin, and I will not be pinning. Aquato says, do I feel like the power of the peso is gaining over the dollar, and will that influence Americans migrating to Mexico? I mean, so yeah, it's like recently it was the lowest I've ever seen the peso to dollar ratio of, I think, something like 16.5 pesos to the dollar, and I've seen it as high as 24 pesos to the dollar. So big difference, and that definitely affects how far US dollars will go in Mexico. You need more. So probably, I mean, especially if it continues going down, for sure. That wasn't really a consideration for me moving back. But, you know, it does make life more expensive. Like, for instance, even my rent is 12,000 pesos per month. When it was 20 to 1, that's $600. At the lowest that it got, it was something like 700 and something. So that's a pretty significant increase in what was a very relatively short amount of time. Yeah, you tell him, Andy. Why can't a woman be independent? We're not defined by who we date. Agreed. Alberto asks, could I lose my residency if I leave Mexico? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure permanent residency is permanent. But if I'm wrong on that, somebody please feel free to correct me. I don't know. Never mind. I'm trying to catch up here, but it's kind of hard to read through these comments right now. If I have moderators in the chat, could you guys like just be scanning for these type of comments that you know don't need to be there? That would be awesome. Kelly says, watching from Durango, Colorado. Change is exciting. I'll continue to watch whatever you do. That is awesome, and thank you. I'm really excited to see like the different directions that my channel is going to go, because I'm going to try to be open and like fluid to see what type of videos I enjoy doing and different styles that you guys might want to see, and trying to take your suggestions too. Ooh, I love to hear this. Just got back from a trip to Mexico and wanted to thank you for the recommendation of the UV shirts. I didn't burn once and barely used any sunscreen. They're a true lifesaver. Yay! Okay, so if you guys aren't familiar, UV shirts, it's UPF fabric. So that's like, basically it's like the equivalent of sunscreen, but in fabric form. I love using it because it's like better for the coral reefs and the wildlife in the ocean, but also because you don't have to keep reapplying sunscreen. That just does the job for you. And I burn like a lobster, so it's totally necessary for me. And it also comes in other stuff. Like I have like a piece of fabric that can be used as a sarong or like a cover up over your head or your shoulders. And then they also have long sleeve shirts that are really light. They don't really make you hot. So glad to hear that. Yay. Heck yeah, he is. I don't know what he said, but my dad's got jokes. Thank you, George. He says, here's to a successful procedure and a rapid recovery. We're all sending our best wishes and positive vibes. Thank you so much. My dad and I very much appreciate that. Andy asked, did I experience the same corruption with immigration that I got as a Canadian? They falsified and censored your records in Mexican immigration. Wow. Yeah, I experienced corruption, but not in the form of censoring records, at least that I know of. When I was trying to get my temporary residency renewed, at the time I was living in the Riviera Maya, and they basically said at the Cancun INM, the lawyer that I was working with, who was total scam artist, was basically like, so she asked for my financials, which I later found out was not necessary for the renewal of temporary residency, which was basically for her to see like what I had in the bank. And then she came up with a number that was like, hey, so if you pay this, then we'll expedite the process. Otherwise, it's going to take, up to a year or whatever. And I was like, no, that's insane. I was like, is that in pesos? No, I'm not paying for that. And so she literally made sure the process took a year, so that by the time that year was up, I would have to start the entire process over again. So she got the renewal for that year, for just the year that it had taken to get it done. And she could have renewed it for 3, but she didn't. It was just an entire nightmare. So if you're ever doing anything with immigration, do not do it in Cancun. That's all I can say. Yeah. I do not know what some of you guys are talking about in the chat right now. I know I'm a little behind too, but Carl says, goodbye OXXO and hello Walmart. That more like goodbye OXXO, which I actually will miss. I like that convenience store, and hello Target, because there's no Target in Mexico, and that is a store that I genuinely miss. Yeah, so I answered this already. Do I ever get the opportunity to see Alaska, and will I see her before leaving Mexico? I decided for my own mental health and just the overall health of my life that it was best not to see her anymore because of the whole dynamic, and that's all I feel comfortable saying about that. Kim says, I think you belong in a Norwegian country where women are more revered. Is that the case? In Norwegian countries? Okay, be open to that. Frederico says my Spanish is awesome, like you. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Tyler asks, am I worried that my food allergies will return once I'm back in the States? So that's what I talked about at the very beginning of this stream, but I'll kind of summarize it now. Yes and no. No, because I'm not dealing with heavy metal poisoning anymore to the extent that I was back then, and my body doesn't, like, since then I've gone back to the US, of course, to visit family and stuff, and I don't react to like eggs and butter and just all the random foods that I was sensitive to before. But yes, in the sense that I don't know, because I haven't spent more than like 2 weeks at a time, so we'll just have to see what happens. Time will tell. Henry, thank you for the super chat. Maddie, has my friend Nikki ever visited in Mexico? How does she like Mexico? Do you think she will be in one of your videos again? She hasn't, and actually she will be having a baby, her second child, very soon, if she hasn't had it already, because she's past her due date. So I don't think she'll be doing much travel for a while, but maybe she'll be in videos coming up. I'm very excited to spend more time with her because, you know, of course, I only get to see her anytime I go back to Phoenix to see family, too. I do like Chipotle. But why do you say the meat is artificial? I get the chicken. It doesn't taste artificial. It tastes good. Go Mexico. Christy says Mexico just refused a huge GMO corn crop from the USA. Heck yeah. Hold strong, Mexico. Fight Monsanto. Andy says there's a great hairdresser you can trust in Los Angeles. 3-week waiting list, $35. I mean, I hope I find one in Phoenix. I mean, I would go to visit LA, but that'd be kind of crazy to go there for a haircut. Okay, right here. Artist in War, have I been to Tulum? Yes, and I used to really love it, but it's not very safe anymore. So, Norm Swan, sorry. No, I would say I did used to like it, and I don't recommend it anymore because of the safety issues. What? You can tell which way the wind is blowing in Chicago by the amount of chlorine in the water? I don't get it. Lydia asks, can one get mercury from tattoos? Just wondering. Yeah, I've heard before that you could from red ink tattoo. Yeah, from red tattoo ink. I said that backwards. But, so it's a possibility, but my symptoms started before I had ever gotten any tattoos. Like at least 4 or 5 years before that. Who are more romantic, gringos or Mexicans? Mexicans, hands down. How do I feel when I change diet between both countries? These days when I go back to the US, I don't actually notice as many anything happening with my health. But again, I think it's because I've worked out other health issues that were underlying, that were making my body more sensitive. So like I don't eat sugar really at all. Don't eat processed foods, things like that. And those were some things that would trigger me. Interesting question. Have I ever met anyone famous, a celebrity, who didn't treat you very well? No, I don't think so. I mean, I've met like other YouTubers, some of which I like, some that I don't, but nobody that's like super famous. Also, I'm like the type of person that even if I saw someone I thought was famous, I would talk myself out of it, because I'd be like, is that actually them or is it not? And then be like, just mortified if I went up to somebody and they weren't a celebrity. I should be coming out with a bread that is gluten-free. That's the kind of bread that tortoise are made from. What? The tortoise are made from? I don't know what that means. That would be interesting, though. I do love gluten-free bread occasionally. But I really don't... Parquear. That's what I was thinking of. Parquear. Thank you for that. What did I say? Did I say that? Parquear. Yeah. Couldn't come to me. Yay! Osplay Girl says, I think this type of live is very nice, natural, informative, and fun. I'm glad to hear that. I like to make it a mix. Answer serious questions, fun stuff, random stuff, shenanigans! Maybe this is just a repeat question, but I've answered this twice now, so sorry. This stream will be available after the fact, so if you want to see the rest of it, if you're just hopping on now, feel free to watch it when it's over. Laura, sadly, what I will do with my plants is give them to friends because I can't, some stupid agricultural laws that you can't take them across the border. Womp, womp, womp. Interesting. Also a hypermobile, formerly gymnast with a now healed broken arm. Is this common? Probably. I mean, all my knees are hyperextending, my elbows are hyperextending. But I don't really get injured now. I mean, I'm not doing crazy stuff anymore, but I have really strong ankles, strong wrists and everything. It was just that elbow, and this is my dominant arm, so that's like when tumbling and stuff, that's the one that's going to take the impact. I think you're gonna piss off some people by saying this, but Amy says, please do not do any Vegas vids. Boring as all get out. I mean, I'm interested maybe to go back just to see if I'd like Vegas while not drinking, but I don't have any plans to go back right now. It's beautiful in like Christmas time, winter time. They do a lot of stuff, and I love wintertime and Christmas in the US. Okay, I'm gonna scroll because I'm behind on comments. Kathy, thank you for the super sticker. It's actually a super sticker. Sorry, my software doesn't show the stickers when I pin them. Thank you all for the well wishes. Aldo says, I wish the best for me and my dad. Hope that you go to Monterrey in the future. I know I've only driven through Monterrey. And you're not the only one that wants me to go there, so I'm going to try to make that happen. Really? Lots of YouTubers have been going Baja lately? I can't believe I still haven't gone, but it's just around the river bend once I get a car, once I'm back in Phoenix. MH says, I love the Argentinian accent. It's like they sing when they speak. Yeah, they kind of have like an Italian vibe. I've also heard in Aguascalientes, they say they sing when they speak. Oh my gosh. No, see okay, Tracy says, make a salad to take on the plane and hide one of your plant clippings in it. I was in a position like this before, not on purpose, but I had a container that I had made a little like tomato salad, and I think I was going to Spain. No, was I going to Spain or I was coming back to the US? I forget, one of the two, and I didn't even think anything about it. I didn't think about the fact that that was like considered like agricultural because they're tomatoes, and I almost got in huge trouble, and I literally just didn't even like register that I had that with me in like a container, so they wouldn't allow that either. Salad, they would tell me to throw it out. Sadly. Thank you, Miguel. Silent H. MaddieGold is a clever name. I like it. Diana, thank you for the super sticker. Again, it's an actual sticker, but it doesn't pin like that. Sorry. Alberto says you can lose your U.S. permanent residency if you leave the U.S. for more than 6 months. That's why I asked. I guess maybe I'll have to look into this. I thought no, but I mean, maybe if I'm traveling back and forth or something, I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Sammy says, I missed most of this until now. What's going on? Well, we've been going at it for a while, so I don't know if I could totally summarize. But the great thing is, once I'm done with the live, like as it's happening right now, I will have this on my channel, so you can watch the whole stream. Fatima, thank you for the super sticker. The lemon super sticker. Or is it a limon? Okay, so Maggie says, I'm a permanent resident and leaving Mexico won't change that. You just need to go to INM at the airport leaving. Be very careful not to re-enter as a tourist. That will terminate your residency. Okay, good to know. We're here for the dad jokes. Yes, always. Sunscreens. Oh, okay, I will keep my residency. Cool. Sunscreens are poison. Yeah, I try to not put as much, or I try to put as little on my skin as possible. Like, that's why I like the UPF shirts. Yay, 615 likes, 682 likes now. Thank you guys. And 800, a little less than 800, but it was actually like 850 for a bit there. Haven't drank much water all day. I should probably drink more of this tea. Christopher says, I did my INM renewal on my own in Morelia, totally drama-free. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, so Morelia, good place to go. I did my, for it changing from temporary residency to permanent residency in the Lake Chapala area with Spencer, a lawyer there, and it was also very drama-free. Like, you just paid him the fee, and they handled everything. But I've also heard, you know, like Christopher, many people do it on their own. Ian, I'm sorry, Ian says, Cásate conmigo. That reminds me of the song. That song, Cásate conmigo. Gabriela, will I be selling all of my belongings? Pretty much. And like, I'm keeping clothes, stuff that I don't really, like, that's harder to replace, but everything else I'm like selling or getting rid of, giving away, like espresso machine, TV, couch, furniture, anything big for sure. My plants, you know, giving those away to friends, and yep, just going back late, starting over. Lost in the Curve. I'm a natural for live streams. B-roll in the background sometimes might be interesting. B-roll? Or music are you talking about? Because B-roll is like where you put it over it's like an overlay. There's only one Norwegian country. Either I read that wrong or maybe it was typed, there's a typo, but I thought so. But I'm like, my geography is like, could use some work, so maybe I was forgetting something. Yeah, see, it's so divisive. Some people really want the Vegas videos, and other people are like, no, don't do Vegas. Who likes Vegas? I don't have any plans right now, but I wouldn't be opposed, like, if some plans came up. And just see, like, I haven't been back since I quit drinking, so just to see, like, would I like it or would I hate it? I think I'd be annoyed by all the drunk people, but then again, it's kind of fun in other ways, so. Daryl, thank you for the super chat. And hello in San Antonio, Texas. Also, another super chat. Thank you, Cassie. What do you think will be your fondest memory of Mexico? Oh my gosh, that's a good question, but I don't know. There's so many, I mean, all the food that I've tried, Dia de Muertos festivals, like getting my face painted, going to Oaxaca with my friend Yvette was amazing, and seeing the celebrations there. So many locations that I've been to, like Lago de Catemaco, Bacalar, Tapalpa, Mazatlan, I don't know, just so many places. I think I don't think I could answer that. That's impossible. There's so many. I would just have to make like a top, like 100, because I've had so many experiences in this country. maybe deleted chat from YouTube still shows. Yeah, I'm using freaking, what's this called? Ecamm Live. But possibly, I don't know. I just earlier there were some comments that people going back and forth. It was confusing and not great. But I'm sure you guys are on top of it. So thank you, my wrench clan, my wrench crew. Sarah says, sorry I'm late. Better late than never. Thank you, Jim, for the super sticker. The lemon super sticker. Jose, I have not seen Valle de Bravo yet. Where is that? I'm trying to remember. I've heard of it for sure, but no, I haven't been there. No, this is so sweet. Thank you, Trevor. And I also love that you think I'm the bee's knees, because that's awesome phrasing. I love it. En España la gente dice parquear. Interesting. I love those little like English Spanishisms. I don't know if there's a different word for it. And then it's so random sometimes what you'll hear Spanish speakers say in English. It surprises me. Like they'll say like, sí, esta es bien nice. Why? I mean, it's super random. So I'll just throw my own, like sometimes I don't know what the word is, or I really specifically want to say a word in English that it doesn't exist in Spanish, and I'll just throw it out there. It's like, well, you guys do it, can I too? Have I told my friends in Mexico that I'm leaving, and how did they react? Yeah, so all my friends are supportive, but sad that I'm leaving. So, and also have been pretty surprised, except that with a lot of them, I've been sort of like leading up to this, there have been sort of conversations that were just adjacent to, like, maybe I would leave Mexico, but yeah, so pretty much that, just surprised but supportive, and it's not like I'm never coming back. I love my friends in all countries, so it's cool that I have people to come back and visit. My dad says, as a moderator, I've been trying to delete all the messages where people are telling you that you're beautiful. I know you don't want to hear that. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for looking out. Lols. Oh, Meek Virk says you should do a top 10 playlist of your all-time favorite songs. In Spanish? My Spanish favorites, or English, or both? Would there be Rake on there, Sigala, Kygo, Alan Walker, yeah. K391, yeah, I could make a playlist like that, but 10, just 10, oh, that's difficult. Laura says, I bumped into Jennifer Hudson at the DGA Awards in LA. She was super rude and gave me a dirty look and a sneer. Aw, that's sad. I mean, I don't think it's okay to be rude to people, but I have so much empathy for like super celebrities, because they probably have no, and I'm not saying you did anything, you're probably just like try to say hi or something, but I just can't even imagine, because I get recognized all over the place, and like fans, and have conversations and things, or people taking like secret pictures of me, and just, you know, interesting things that come with being a content creator, a YouTuber that's, you know, I've been doing this for 6 years. I can't even imagine the level that it is for celebrities that are like super well known. Everybody knows them, like Jennifer Aniston or whatever. Yeah, they probably just get bombarded all the time and then feel like they don't have any privacy. Again, no hate to you or saying that you did anything, but is there anything stereotypically American that you're excited for when you go back to living in the US? I left 4 years ago and sometimes I miss the fast food. Well, good question, Trevor. there's certain restaurants, I was talking about this earlier, like I like going to Thai food. Chipotle is one that I always seem to hit up, and like there's these there's these restaurants with that they offer gluten-free pizzas, and they're kind of like build your own in Phoenix and probably, you know, other places in the US. So those I really like. And stereotypically American, I have to give that some more thought, because there's certainly things like that I go back and I don't know. I'm gonna keep this in mind. That could be a good video to do. Or like call myself out for stereotypical American stuff that I like. It's interesting though, because I feel like since moving to Mexico, I'm like expected to feel bad about that, liking things with my own culture, or being here and liking certain foods or certain whatever. And it's like, why won't you embrace the Mexican culture? And it's like, well, I do, but also I can still like those things. They can coexist at the same time. I have a new appreciation for like empathy for people who move to other countries and get that type of hate. Like, you know, Mexicans that come to the US, it's like, well, why do you have to play, I'm not saying this, but like the sentiment of like, why are you playing your music, your Spanish music, or why are you making your Mexican food or whatever? And it's like, well, because you don't have to deny your own culture to exist in another, but some people see it like that, like you're not embracing the culture when you're just trying to hold on to things that you feel familiar with or that you love or that's part of your roots and your heritage. It's an interesting duality. Hola Luis. Luis dice, saludos Maddie, ya no vas a hacer videos, ¿verdad? No, pues sí voy a hacer videos en la futura. El cambio es que voy a regresar a los Estados Unidos, voy a mudarme a Phoenix y mientras tanto, antes de mudarme allí, voy a hacer videos aquí en México. Sí, y mi reto es hacer un video cada semana por el resto del año. So for those that don't speak Spanish, what I basically said, no, what this says is, I'm not doing any more videos, right? And I said, yes, I am doing videos. I'll be making videos in Mexico until the time that I move back to the US. And then the goal that I've mentioned a couple times already on the stream, that I am going to be trying my absolute darndest to post one video per week for the rest of the year, whether that's a live stream or an edited video, like hopefully a good combination of both. Maybe 3 edited videos, 1 live stream, or 2 and 2 in the month. I don't know if this is going to get me in trouble, but Moss says, I really enjoy the content that Expat Tea puts out. What are my thoughts on Expat Tea? I have a lot of thoughts on it. So I signed a non-disparagement. Like a part of the buyout contract was a non-disparagement agreement, which means I cannot say anything disparaging about my ex. I wouldn't really anyway, because that's just not the type of person I am, and I think you get what you put out in the universe. So if you put out toxic negativity and, you know, toxic crap, then you're gonna get that type of energy back. So it's not who I am to drag my ex and say things like, you guys can probably notice that I don't make posts about it. If I ever bring up anything to do with my ex, I try to do it in the most tasteful and respectful way possible. When it comes to Expat Tea, I say if you want to understand why I am trying to be delicate about what I'm saying here, go watch that channel. And you'll see what I mean. He, or the team, or whoever's behind that channel has done videos on my ex and on me and on a little bit on other travel like YouTubers and stuff. It's a very and to clarify, I seriously do not have any idea who's behind that channel, why they're making the videos, or what my ex did to royally piss this person off enough to dedicate their time to making videos. But I'm not behind it. It wouldn't be in my best interest in any way, shape, or form to make those videos. So, yeah. Daryl, thank you for the super chat. I might have already, oh, this totally scrolled. But thank you again. And, yeah, let me see if I can Oh, it's doing weird things. Sometimes my streaming software like goes with the comments. So I think I gotta scroll way down again. Ah, Valle de Bravo is in Estado de Mexico. Okay, I thought it was somewhere central Mexico. There's a couple of Valle days in Mexico, so I was trying to remember. Elizabeth asked, have I been to Holbox? If so, what did I think about it? Yes, and it's beautiful, but I think I like Isla Mujeres better in terms of islands. Holbox I felt like was super buggy and there wasn't quite as much to do, which in a sense is good because, you know, fewer people and kind of like less chaos. And also it was really hard to get to, or like kind of, there's a lot of steps to get to Holbox. So yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Whatever Cass says, partly due to this and the other channel, I do tend to ask Mexicans about their culture more than I did before. I'm in Northern California, is it right? That's all, yeah, and I think same. Now I'm like so much more interested in really everybody and their culture because of the experiences that I've had living in Mexico and being a foreigner and like trying to absorb this culture and learn more about it and feeling that like the struggles that I've gone through as a foreigner in a foreign country, I have a new appreciation for what other people go through and like, yeah, just trying to like understand people. I think that's just one of the greatest things that you can do. Everybody wants to be understood. What did my dad say? I think I missed something. My dad's cute and hilarious. Ryan says, that's cool. My dad supports my travels. My dad told me I will die if I go to Mexico. I mean, my parents certainly, like, parents, family, friends were, like, super concerned before I did. But now, after seeing videos, that calmed down. It's, you know, every place has their dangers and considerations, but I don't think you're just gonna straight up die if you come to Mexico. Bill Walton gave me a fist bump at a John Fogerty concert in Vegas. I don't know who either of those people are, I'm not gonna lie. Henry asked if I could talk about the famous celebrities I've seen or met over the years. He's met Jodie Sweetin from Full House, Jeremy Renner from the Avengers movies. That's cool. I really don't think I've met any big celebrity, or if I saw them, I didn't realize it because I have mild prosopagnosia, which is facial blindness, so I don't know. I also doubt myself, I think, if I were to see somebody that I thought looked like a celebrity. Maybe one day. One day. MH says my mom was convinced I'd be kidnapped when visiting Colombia. It's like, yeah, you look at foreign country as like all the dangers are there and you're safe in your own place, even when that maybe isn't the case. I mean, the US isn't completely safe either. Desert Raider asks, what is my favorite pizza in Phoenix? I'm not the best person to ask because I'm gluten-free, so there's so much good pizza there that I've never been able to try. But I like going to those places I was talking about that are like build your own pizza. They're like Mod Pizza is one, and Fired Pie is another, just because they offer gluten-free crust. You know, probably the best gluten-free pizza I've ever had, though, was in Roma Norte in Mexico City. I think the place is called, what's it called? Faro? Shoot, I forget. It was really good. Really good. Didn't taste, or like the texture, I mean, it's like as close to gluten-y crust as I think I've ever had. Aw, my dad says, I was a little upset this week when Maddie came into town. I asked for her autograph and she wouldn't give it to me. Lies, I say. No, but I feel bad. So when I recorded the house hunting video, my dad was with me, and I wanted to introduce him in the video, and it just like with everything going on and like going from house to house to house, I didn't get to. But ladies, My dad is hilarious and single, so I mean, you probably want to get in on that action. They don't make him like him anymore. But I think he's going to be in the background a little bit of that video. I just feel bad because I meant to include my dad more and I didn't. Heck yeah. Stormtrooper, you be funny. And Miguel Silent Age says, you probably already have too many. Nobody really asked me for my my address, my autograph. But selfies all the time. I do selfies with people that I meet, but not autographs. José says, Valle de Bravo es un pueblito mágico en el estado de México, es un paraíso, debes ir sí o sí. So, Valle de Bravo is a magic town in the state of Mexico, which is a paradise. I should go. Yeah, I should. Yes, Anye asks, is Tulum now overrated? Too much crime there now? I would say yes, it's overrated. It's extremely expensive. Not even by Mexico standards, by like US standards, it's expensive. And lots of really bad crime, like mass shootings, people getting drugged, other bad things that I don't think I should mention, or YouTube could take this video down. Yeah. See, my dad who says, I'm trying my best to pick up women in this live, MaddieGold, but it doesn't seem to be working. I need to give a proper intro. I'm sure there's plenty of takers. Carrie asked, do I think that the Expat Tea channel is making things worse by constantly rehashing the drama and preventing people from moving on? Yeah, in a way. I don't know. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. There's stuff I want to say, but I just don't think it's a good idea. Because even me addressing this, I feel like is promoting or perpetuating certain things. And I would just like to keep it in the past. Like, people come and is like, oh, you brought up your ex, you're clearly not over him or whatever. And it's just like, come on. It's so hard for me because there's like, I don't know, we had really good times. It was a very long relationship, 5.5 years, and we did have a lot of amazing memories together. And it's unfortunate that things ended like how they did, and you know, with being on YouTube and stuff, like the drama just got like amplified, I think, a whole lot by everybody having an opinion on the whole thing, and just all the videos that are still up and just different things. But yeah, it's hard for me because it's like I can't even bring up positive things without people being like, oh, you're still in love with him. Like, no, you just referring to happy memories that I had. But yeah, I don't know. My dad says, I love Expat Tea, I want to meet her. Oh my. Luz says, Stormtrooper, you can't fool Maddie. That autograph request was probably an attempt to get her to sign a chores to do contract. I knew it. That's what it was. What is this about? Or what is this about? I was a taxi driver, picked them up at a small... Picked who up? I think I missed something. The Kinks on the marquee? Picked up the Kinks? Who's that? You guys. Henry says, Crosby Drake, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Crosby Gray's travel was talked about in one of her last videos that she'll be returning to Mexico for Dia de Muertos. Do you think you'll be back in Mexico briefly to meet up with her? I will be in Mexico for Dia de Muertos, and I tried to align plans for her and I. Did she, I don't want to say where she's going to be if she didn't share that, but where she's going, I tried to go there too, but like everything was booked up and it just was like I couldn't make it happen. So, but now my mom and a friend are coming to visit for Dia de Muertos, so I'll be doing some videos about that and enjoying the festivities and my favorite holiday in Mexico. I'm excited. Carrie asked, do I follow the Ice Poseidon drama in Thailand? I've never heard about any of that. I don't know what that's about. Yeah. Start starring in my videos and my dad will have women wanting to pick him up. That's why I said I feel so bad that I didn't even introduce him in that video. And I think he might be in 2 because I recorded 2 while I was there. 1 plus part of a second one, but it's just sometimes there's a lot going on and I just was like total oversight. Sorry, Dad. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you in the chat. She says, I agree, Isla Mujeres is much better than Holbox. Tessa, I'm glad to hear that. She says, I learned so much about Mexico from me. Thank you and prayers for my family. Appreciate it. Cool, Chris. Where is the best place to get tacos de canasta or basket tacos? Mexico. But I'm sure you're asking where more specifically in Mexico. I don't know, everywhere. Where did I recently have some tacos de canasta? In Mexico City. Oh, well, it wasn't really recently. It was actually last year for Dia de Muertos. And if I remember right, they were 5 pesitos per taco. And they were like this lady, I'm trying to remember how much, she made like 1,000 of them or whatever. And it was like, holy crap. But tacos de canasta are great because they're very economical and often super tasty. A quote from Dorothy Parker, I hate to spread gossip, but what else am I to do with it? Oh my gosh, Tapbook says, do you realize you now have the amazing opportunity of making a video about selling my belongings to the Se compran colchones, tambores, refrigeradores people. But I don't have any metal stuff to give them. And where I live, well, I'm in a gated community, which I picked for like safety reasons, but I don't really hear that very often. Like only occasionally, and like the way that where I'm situated, I don't know if I'd catch them, but that would be a great opportunity. I'd be like, check that off my Mexican bucket list. Yeah, Carrie, I'm inclined to agree. It was funny at first, but it went too far and it seems obsessive. It also, so many people think it's me, and I'm like, what? I have way better things to focus my energy on. I don't know. I really don't understand who. I'm not. I should just not talk about this anymore. Yay, Susan! I'm glad you caught the live. Ooh, somebody else with prosopagnosia. What's it like for you? I want to know your experiences too, because for me, it's not severe, and especially if somebody has a unique feature about their face, then I'm going to remember it easier than if they don't. Like if somebody has a piercing or unique hair or glasses or like a strong jaw or something like that. But for generic, like I hate to say it like this, but just for the sake of explaining this, for generic looking faces, people that just don't have anything super notable about them, I do have a hard time remembering. It takes me like a couple times of seeing somebody before I'll remember their face. So when meeting people too, or even like now that I'm in the position to be meeting you guys on the street sometimes, like fans, subscribers or whatever, MaddieGoldians, petalitos, we were talking about that. Sometimes the way that people approach me, I'm like, do I know this person? Or do they just know me? Because it's kind of hard to tell with both the faces, like people's faces in general, but like the faces people give me of like excitement, because it seems like they're seeing a friend. And so I'm like, oh crap. So if I'm ever awkward in person, that's probably why. Yeah, it is. It's a thing. My dad says I held the bathroom door for Alex Cooper. Yo. Is that supposed to be at the end? Yo. We also, together, Dad, remember we were at the movies and we met that one guy from a news station? I forget where he was from, like Channel 3 or something. Yeah, so Kathy says, need to go cook family dinner. Best of luck. Thank you so much, Kathy. And I think I, too, will be wrapping this up because I have some pozole rojo that is calling my name. I'm going to make sure to get through these comments to see if I missed any super chats because I don't want to miss those. Okay. Oh, interesting. Debbie says, I do nails, so I usually recognize someone's hands or feet way before I connect their face to their name. I can see how that's the case. I bet it would be like that for hairdressers too, or dentists or things. Like, they'll recognize a person's teeth. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for hopping on the live with me. This has been super fun. I hope you had fun as well, and that I answered questions. I try to answer as many questions as possible, but if I didn't and you're watching this later, feel free to drop questions in the comments. If you haven't already, give this live a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. I also have the link to my email newsletter at the top of this video description so that you can get extra updates in between videos and just expect lots coming. I'm gonna try my absolute best to achieve that goal of posting one video every week throughout the end of the year. And yeah, so just stay tuned. So good things cooking, good things on the docket, locked and loaded. But I hope you all have an amazing night. Buenas noches.